Hello everyone, welcome back to Gent Watches, and today we're going to be watching more Classroom of the Elite. This is Season 2, Episode what? I'm going to say 7. Is it 7? It is 7, wow. So, last episode, I remember the end. I remember Kushida and the Class C dude, I always forget his name, but the Matthew Mercer looking dude, having this moment with Horikita where, you know, they're about to properly extort her, and then kind of Ayano Koji comes through in the end. I mean, I don't think they confirmed it was Ayano Koji, but I think we can assume that it was, just because it's always Ayano Koji. But yeah, essentially they turn the tables on them. So we are going to be getting into Season 2, Episode 7 of this episode. I still have a bit of a sore throat today, but otherwise I am feeling much better. So hopefully the videos from here on out will start to come out more often. Or, I mean, not more often. I guess I didn't change my schedule, but it'll be a bit easier for me to make videos over the next week than it was the past week. So anyway, let's get into this episode of Classroom of the Elite. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and go to my Patreon account for full length and early access. It's down in the description below, so it's definitely worth doing, because my patrons are really helping me out, and they get all these extra videos, so it's very worth it. Anyway, let's get over to this video. What the heck am I talking about? Let's do this episode. See you then. Season 2, Episode 7. Here we go. Oh, I did see the title of this one, and it is super long. It almost feels like it'd be a spoiler just reading it. This is like a novel.
I have served the student body as the student council president with pride.
Uh-huh.
And with that, I'll conclude my resignation speech.
Whoa.
So,
he's resigned.
farewell, everyone.
See ya, man.
We'll hear a few words from the incoming student council president.
Who is it?
Hello, everyone. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm Miyabi Nagamo from Classroom 2A.
Nagamo.
While those without will be left behind, just as things should be.
Okay. I don't know. I can't tell if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It didn't sound good.
I was surprised by your performance in the sports festival.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
I'll let her know.
Please do.
Okay. A bit of a delightful conversation there.
You mind coming with me for a second?
Oh.
There's something I want to talk about. I don't mean like who you literally see. I'm asking if you have a girlfriend or not. So do you?
Aw, is this for real?
No, I
Because
don't.
this is very cute.
Why don't we exchange phone numbers?
Aw.
I'd be okay with that.
That is so cute. See, I'm not like attached to him being with
Where's
Horikita
this
or
coming from?
Kushida or anyone
During the
else,
sports
so
festival.
this is cute.
When I watched your race, you're nice too.
I don't know if he's nice necessarily. He's a bit of a manipulator. Oh, I guess there's also Kay. I didn't even think about Kay.
It's clear
But
you only have one thing
I'm
on
not
your
attached to
mind.
their relationship either.
Therefore, I'll reveal your midterm results now.
52.
Hardly worth shouting about.
Yeah, right.
Just like a puppy.
Since this is the first group of students to go this long without any dropouts.
Wow.
I'm impressed.
That is impressive.
This test is called the paper shuffle.
Paper shuffle?
What's that? Partners.
Everyone would want to be partners with
Gotta
Ayano
get out to.
Koji.
Isn't that right?
Everything will be explained to you after next week's mini test.
It's frickin' tests all the way
To ascertain your current academic prowess and determine where you stand in the class. A pair's total score in any subject falls below 60 points. Both students will be expelled.
Whoa.
And finally, for this test, you'll be writing it. All of you.
Huh?
You'll also pick a class you hope gets your questions, so choose wisely.
Okay.
Class is picked multiple times. The test they will get will be random, and whoever ends up with the highest score will steal 50 class points from the other.
It's a
Interesting.
direct challenge.
Huh.
Ask something that can't be answered.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem fair.
The teachers will be reviewing all questions.
Uh-huh.
Something to consider.
This is interesting. Wow.
I'll be sending out an email with more instructions on how to write your exam questions. Everything else will be up to you.
Huh.
This paper
This school is
shuffle.
so weird.
What do you think?
Sato asked you out, right?
Yes. So?
Who told you that?
You better ask me out if you want to be in the running, bro.
Fine then. We'll relocate.
Excuse me? Would you mind if I joined you?
No! You're gonna leak secrets.
Saying no would have only caused more problems.
Okay.
Right.
But you should know. Kushida's past.
Oh, that is a cool shot. That eye catch with this creepy Kushida behind, dragging into her.
Both Kushida and I went to the same middle school,
That's her dark past.
but it completely tore one of the classes apart.
What the hell?
From all the rumors that were circulating, it was caused by one person. A girl who was in that class.
Oh my god.
You believe it was Kushida? What's the most surefire method to get what you want?
Violence, I guess?
That's not Kushida's style.
Seduction.
The end of the day, I'm an obstacle to her.
That seems to be
I
a
don't actually
main
have
method
clue
right
what
now.
happened back then. We aren't her enemy. I'll make sure she sees that.
Okay.
Very well. If you're really that determined, I'll leave it up to you to handle.
Just watch. And this time, don't interfere. I
That's
don't want you to step in like with the festival.
Some growth from Harukita. She's a little
I
more
had an idea. I
confident.
found it extremely annoying that you planned around the assumption that I would fail. Thank you.
Man, he has everyone falling over him, and he's just a gaslighter. A really
really so
intelligent
hard for her to
and
say thank you?
athletic one, but
A question for you. Do any of you know what the strongest force in the world is?
is this Class C's classroom? It's just this dark?
Unrestrained violence. You're the traitor. Tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Think I didn't know it was you the whole time? Who put you up to this? What's the name of this
Jesus.
mastermind?
Sayana Koji, I
I
think.
see now.
You really betrayed our class because of summer courting?
Go easy
Right.
on them. They already
That makes
apologized.
sense.
Let's focus on the person behind it all. Yukimura and Ayana Koji witnessed it.
In other words,
It seems almost too obvious, but it is a possibility.
It's crazy
time
that
to
they
call in a
still don't know, that everyone still isn't like 100% sure that Ayana Koji's behind everything. Oh god. Don't get Kushida involved! Leave her out of this!
What took you so long, huh?
We can start right away.
Just brushing me off again. Typical, I guess.
We were making out.
The only explanation is that it'll determine the pairings. Remember what Miss Chabishira said?
That makes sense.
If they put the highest and the lowest ranking students together, it'd ensure everyone got roughly the same average score. We'll only try to get one question right.
I see. That'll reduce the chance of making a weak pair.
are you still keeping
Huh.
up, Pseudo?
Not even a little bit, man. Just
But this would
smiling
like
and
also
nodding.
naturally happen, wouldn't it?
Come on. It's
Which only leaves us one choice.
Yes. Class C will be our best bet.
Okay, yeah. I'm still curious how this is gonna play out with the writing them questions. Like, it feels like you could really abuse that. It's K. It's K calling. Thank goodness she doesn't have a middle name that starts with K.
I told you to only contact me in case of emergency.
come on. What's the harm in talking? You've shown your true colors. Anything to get into a girl's pants, huh?
Where's this coming
He hasn't gotten into your pants.
Is it?
She just asked if we could exchange phone numbers. There wasn't anything more to it than that.
Oh,
Well,
was that really it?
there was more to it than that. She was pretty
It
overt.
didn't matter. One more thing. Make sure that you delete.
All my call history. You know.
Perfect. Thanks. See ya.
You can't be
Next day,
possessive
Haruki
over him
explained
unless
the
you ask him
details of her
out.
plan to everyone else in the class. This was the first time that Class D was completely unified.
That's cool.
I will now announce the pairs for the paper shuffle.
Were they right or were they wrong?
Go, Ken!
Or did they nail it?
Oh, brother.
Oh, well, it wasn't subtitled, so... Hold on. Okay, yeah. Thank goodness Crunchyroll has comments on the video, so if I ever really need to know what something says, I can just scroll down to the comments and someone always translates it. So this time, someone translated that end bit. Ayana Koji Kiyotaka 70, Sato Maya 1. Yep, so he was paired up with Sato, which makes sense with the way that they're setting this up. It is very funny that it's like that that just sort of happens to happen at this point in the show when Sato hasn't had a role up until now. It's just like as soon as she has some form of importance to the plot, suddenly she's paired up with Ayana Koji. It's funny. I enjoyed that episode. I like what they're doing right now with it's weird because this show, like, this is a challenge that doesn't sound like it would necessarily be visually exciting, but it's a, like, but I don't know, like, I'm still very curious because the show's all about mind games, so I'm still curious how they're gonna do like the writing of the questions and all of that. Like that is very exciting to me, genuinely, even though it's just gonna be them taking a test. Like that doesn't sound, I can't imagine how they would make that particularly interesting. I always think of, when I'm thinking about like test taking and stuff, I always think about how Assassination Classroom tried to make it entertaining, and I really didn't like it, because there was a bit in Assassination Classroom where they're taking tests, and from memory, what it did was it made it like a metaphor for them like fighting monsters or something, and so it was like fight scenes between them and like the tests questions and stuff like that. Like I remember it being, you know, all a weird metaphor that I just really didn't. I was like, I would rather just watch them take the test, you know. Like I think an entertaining way to do it for me would be to have it like each individual person and it just shows like one question. It like shows it above their head, you know, what's the square root of blah 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 if blah 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 was blah 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 blah, and then like it just shows them working it out in their head in their own little way. Like you can see they go through their thought process of how they figure it out. So like the smart students would be like, well, obviously this is this and this is this, and then they would tick off that. But then the like students that have more trouble, they would be like, oh, I remember I studied this with blah blah blah, and then you could go to like a flashback, but it's actually like a new scene that we haven't seen before. But like we can go to a scene of them being taught that by whoever, and the reason they remember it is because of this. Like I think if you just focus on like an individual question and use that as a representation of how they do on the test overall, and give them like, you know, character reasons behind them succeeding or failing at that part of the test, then I think that would be more interesting than just being like, here's them with guns, and if they shoot the monster correctly, they got the question right. Like that's what we get. So I don't know how Classroom of the Elite are gonna do it. I assume it's just gonna be like they've always done it in this show, and it's just gonna cut from, like, they'll sit down with the test questions and it's gonna cut to after the test is done and we're seeing their results, because I guess the actual taking of the test doesn't really matter. It's about the preparation leading up to it. I do like Sato. I always kind of like when characters put themselves out there like that, and in like a nice enough way, a straightforward way. I think I admire it because it's something that I'm not very good at doing, is putting myself out there for people. Any sort of, you know, any romantic encounters that I've had in my life, I have not taken the initiative on, and I have been lucky enough that I was the one approached by someone else. So, like, I am, but like, I don't like that part of myself. I wish that I could do that better. And so I appreciate when I see characters taking the initiative and you know, being forward about their feelings to someone, especially when it's a female character, because I know Japan, it's getting better and better, but it is still like sometimes slightly caught in gender roles, you know, and you know the roles of like, you know, women are like this and men are like this and stuff, and it's like they might still have part of the expectation of like, well, the man has to be the one to initiate whatever, which is a super outdated notion. But you can still see aspects of that sometimes in anime. But I like when that's not the case. And when that's not the case and it's not made, like, no one makes a big deal of it, because it's not a big deal. It's just how things are. But I like Sato. With like, cause yeah, as I said, like Horikita and Ayano Koji, I don't really care if they, like, I don't have any attachment to them as a couple. Ayano Koji and like Sakura or Kushida, like I can't really see it happening. And Ayano Koji and Kei is the closest thing to a like somewhat romantic thing going on that we have. But like, I feel like Kei's got to earn it, you know? Like she clearly, you know, has some sort of feelings for Ayano Koji, but is but if she's gonna continue to do the tsundere thing, right? And I love tsunderes, so this isn't me putting down the archetype. I not only get it, but I love the archetype generally. But in this situation, like, she also can't expect to, like, I feel like she always wants things handed to her, and when things don't quite go her way, she gets pouty and frustrated. And we need to see her improve before she deserves to be in the running, you know? Right now, everything we've seen of Sato, it's not much, but she's a fine enough person, and she, you know, started to like Ayano Koji, and she went up to Ayano Koji and said, hey, I think I like you. Can we exchange phone numbers? Bam! Great! Wonderful. I love it. But yeah, anyway. Also, we have a new student council president. And so I'm curious about where that's going. And Class C looks awful as well. That I would not want to be in that class. That looks like the absolute worst class to be in. It goes like B, A, D, C, maybe, in terms of goodness being in the class. It's either B, A, D, C or B, D, A, C. Regardless, C's at the bottom and B's at the top. B looks like the best class to be in. So, I'm going to wrap up this video there. Please make sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Also, go to my Patreon account in the description below, and you'll get full-length and early access to all of my videos. It is definitely worth it, and exclusive videos as well. So go over there, check it out. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.